Alf, do we have some shady breaker activity going on? This is an interesting story. Stick around. What's going on, sports card hobby family? We have almost made it to the weekend, TGIF. I hope that you all are doing amazingly well. I haven't really said this in a while, but if you're new here or you've been watching for a little while, have you subscribed? If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. It helps me to get more reach out on these videos like Vecna trying to take over the Upside Down. That was terrible analogy. Before I get started, we've got our Friday shoutouts. Card Capsule. You want good supplies. You want cases that are waterproof and you don't want to pay a fortune for them. You want to go to Card Capsule and 10% off coupon code, promo code down below in the video description to help get a few dollars off of your supplies. JustCollect.com, you've got a collection that you want to sell, or you maybe just want to kind of get a feel for what is it worth. Leighton Sheldon at JustCollect.com can help you. You've got an easy appraisal form there on the website that can just very easily get you answers. And he's got a Just Collect YouTube channel where he's talking about collections that he's picked up, different stories around them. Very knowledgeable card guy, long-time hobbyist. Make sure to check out JustCollect.com. And for those that have never submitted with PSA, $25 off your first submission. One card minimum, SCD 25 at the shipping and billing screen will get you $25 off your first PSA submission. All right, what are we talking about today, guys? Very, very interesting video that came across my desk yesterday, and it was by RunGoodLife. I believe it's James over there at RunGoodLife. I am not a fan of breaking. I am really not a fan of it. If you watch my channel, you can probably gather that. And the repacks, the breaking, the razzes, the duck games, all the duck races, all the different things. It's fair games. That's how I look at a lot of it, the gambling side of the hobby. I know it's fun. I know there's certain things that, there's good breakers and good, this or that or whatever. I'm not disputing that. But RunGoodLife is one where I respect RunGoodLife because he actually does tell it like it is when it comes to product coming out and pricing. He will flat out say, man, this is overpriced. This product coming out is overpriced. I don't know if it's good value compared to maybe this product or that product. He will level with you and let you know. Plus, he's been in the hobby for a long time. He worked at ComC for years. And so he's not a newbie hobbyist, breaker, collector, whatever. He's been in it. And I do respect the fact that when he does see some BS or when he does see a product that's like, man, this is a killer for collect, like this just isn't a good value, he will actually come out and say that. So respect there. Now, this was interesting. So he talked about the new Prizm Deca product, which of course is celebrating the 10-year anniversary of 2012, 2013, those inaugural years of Prizm basketball that came out. Of course, extremely popular. My gosh, when you look at like the gold Prizms from 2012, high dollar cards. Check the prices on LeBron James gold Prizm from 12 and Tom Brady. The prices on them are dramatically high. They're just very, very important hobby cards. People will pay big bucks for those cards, and they do look at 2012 Prizm as kind of one of those premier sets, especially for a modern set that's rare. So as we move into the future, that first set. But you know what? He makes mention, and I've heard a lot of stories about this, where people were kind of like not thrilled about Prizm when it came out. They had a tough time selling it. And, it just sat on shelves. They ended up buying it, buying a hobby box or whatever back then for $80 or $100. Obviously, now it's a lot more where you can find them, but just shows you kind of that he was there 12 years ago when the stuff was actually coming out. All right, so first off the line boxes for Prizm Deca basketball just recently came out, and it's to celebrate those early designs. Now, these boxes came out at Dutch. It's a Dutch auction on Panini. So how that works, of course, is they start the price out at $3,000 for this product, and then it moves downward. So if it sells out at $3,000, great. Then they just move it down until it finally sells out. It's a way for Panini to capture their best price that they can because they don't want to set the price. Okay, we're going to put first off the line out at $1,000. It sells out immediately, and then it's on the secondary market for $2,500, for example. So they're using this Dutch auction to capture as much of that secondary market value as they possibly can. For the manufacturer, I mean, it's hard to argue it if you're a for-profit company and you're printing out cards. For a lot of collectors, consumers, they're not crazy about this model. But from a manufacturer standpoint, I can see why they do it. I understand why they do it. So here's what RunGoodLife said about this. He says that approximately 40 to 50 breakers got together, and as this thing started at $3,000 and came down, they sold it out at $2,600. So essentially when it hit $2,600, it was gone. All the cases, all the boxes for first off the line Deca were gone. And he put some numbers up on the screen where it shows that it cost about $4 million to accomplish this. And $4 million might seem like a lot of money for one product especially, but he actually mentions there that he knows of breakers that have spent $1 million on one product, and maybe it's National Treasures, or maybe it's this, maybe it's other things. So $4 million spread out among quite a few breakers. It's not, it's money, but it's money that they probably feel pretty good about making back. Plus, again, they bought most / all of the supply there for first off the line. And so then, of course, what happens? Then boxes, other breakers didn't get it. So they're having to buy boxes at $3,000, $3,300, $3,500. And I saw on eBay going back a couple of weeks, over the last couple of weeks, one sold for $4,000, one sold for higher than that. So the secondary market's going to be high on these. What is the ultimate impact? Who gets impact the most on this? Well, the answer is obvious here. It's the collector. It's the person that's buying into the breaks, the gambler, whoever it is. It's going to raise the break prices. It's going to raise the break spot prices when everybody's getting that product at higher prices. It drives me nuts when people argue against yeah, you know what though? It's not only just breakers, and that's the reason why, new product is so expensive when it comes out. And I do understand that just the overall MSRP coming out from a manufacturer is quite a bit more. It used to be going back 5 years, 7 years, 8 years. That's obviously clear. But this sort of thing, if this is true that this happens on even a semi-regular basis where you've got kind of the big breakers that are coming in and buying up a huge trough, buying up a huge chunk of the overall supply there, and you can say yeah, well, individuals can come in and compete with these folks and do that. Yeah, I guess so. But it just shows you that the world now, if you want new product coming out, it's going to be that you have to buy into a break. So with this sort of a thing that's happening, where this is true, where this thing was kind of artificially bought up at a high price like that at $2,600, and then being resold at a higher price, or break spots are being sold at a higher price, how are we supposed to argue against the fact that this is the reason why product is so expensive? But again, people have to buy into these breaks. There's obviously customers out here that are willing to pay it for this all to happen. If there's not people out there willing to buy the break spots and other breakers willing to buy from these breakers, to try to take that risk, to see if they can sell out their breaks. Until that changes, then this is what we're going to see. But I just think it's kind of a sad day for people that the only way that they can really get into new product is to buy into a break on it at this point. And really what we're seeing is break spots just getting more expensive on a lot of this stuff. And again, I think that if you're Topps and you're looking at this, Panini's going to lose the license in the next year and a half, 2 years. To me, it makes actually perfect sense they're doing it this way, this Dutch auction thing, and they can capture as much as they possibly can up front. But if you're Topps, I think you really look at this, and I don't see how this doesn't result in more and more of new product going direct to consumer. And I know additionally, Topps does not give out allocation and then say, yeah, you can sell this to other breakers, or yeah, you can sell this to other people and make money off of it. Once Topps hears about that, from my understanding anyway, Topps has got a pretty hard stance against that. Basically, if they're giving out allocation, it needs to be sold to the consumer, to the collector. It is not to be sold to another store, another breaker, another company, or whatever. So this is really interesting stuff, but I do think that it gives kind of a little bit of a beware there with some of the new Panini products, and just understanding man, why is optics so expensive? Why is this so expensive or that expensive? This could be a reason. This could explain a lot more of why that is to be. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll put a link to RunGoodLife's video in the video description if you want to check that out as well. He explains it a lot better than me. And again, he's in the breaking scene. He's the one that would really kind of have guidance on exactly what the story is. He's the one that shared his opinions on it. All right, my friends, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.